All right, Shalom. It's a brother Quashab coming at you with another quick lesson, another M.O.T.B episode. But before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak, and double honors to your apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us the truth and rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel, and may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right, and as we can see the news. All right, let me get into a little video and a little article. All right, it's basically going into how we're entering into that digital era. All right, so as I have this word queued up from the etymology, all right, in the highlighted portion, it says the starting point of an age. All right, it says an era or epoch from which time is reckoned. All right, counters used for calculation. All right, and we can clearly see, all right, that we are entering the era, all right, of the M.O.T.B, all right, being totally fully implemented. All right, now the idea that sparked this lesson, okay, is pretty much Apple is instituting something with digital IDs. All right, and I'm gonna get into it. All right, I'm gonna let this video play first. All right, then I'm gonna get into the article. All right, because we are at the starting point. All right, which it been started. Okay, what was that? During the C to the V to the 1 to the 9. All right, during the age when everything was totally closed down. All right, when everything was closed down, that was the actual starting point. All right, but now we're actually seeing things be pushed. All right, more and more and more. All right, and they're going to continue to push until they accomplish what they intend to do. You see, matter of fact, I'm gonna start off the book of Job. All right, I think it's 5 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. I might have to search it up. Yep, that's it. I think I was thinking about a different one, but I can roll with this one. All right, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. All right, so when you read it in the LT, it says he frustrates the plans of the schemers so the work of their hands will not succeed. You see, so what we're seeing, all right, is the plans of the so-called elites. All right, the elite bankers. All right, of the nation of Edom. All right, trying to perform the enterprise. All right, trying to fulfill the NW0. All right, but it tells you in I believe it's the same book, that he's going to be in a difficult position to do so. All right, because majority of the people here are going to be ready to rebel against the system. All right, we can see it now. I heard, maybe it's in this lesson. I mean, not this lesson, this video. All right, but I heard about something earlier when basically I think it's the UK is getting ready to just ban cash totally. All right, and cash never did nothing to nobody, but these people want to be the Most High. All right, these people want to rule over you and control every single thing that you do, man. But I'm gonna let this little quick video play with
communications
this chick.
energy usage requires a valid digital ID, without which you are locked out. This has already happened in China and actually a lot of Asian countries. 86 million people in Vietnam have lost their bank accounts because they refuse to comply with digital ID.
All right, now we're into a lesson regarding that. May have been the last episode, the M.O.T.B episode. Now I really need to categorize this M.O.T.B episode, so when you go to the page, you can just scroll down and see them all. But I get there whenever I get there. All right, but what I was getting ready to speak about was the whole Vietnam thing, with them being basically it was a biometric issue. All right, that if you didn't verify your biometric, all right, they froze your account, and either froze your account or just completely closed your bank account, man. All right. And so this is the things that's, getting ready to happen. All right. This is the fire that's getting ready to come. All right. Especially upon us, you know. But how much more these people who are not in the know?
Okay, so
All
we are
right.
seeing this already, and there's other countries. In China, hundreds of thousands of people are basically they have nothing. They're just out on the streets because they lost all of their social currency, meaning they can't function in society anymore. These are people who've had digital ID, but because they did not like what they were posting and things that they were doing, or they didn't meet certain requirements, these were just working, healthy people, not criminals or anything like that. And then when I show you what is being said here and done here in comparison, it's going to shock a lot of you. So let's continue. Once that situation is in place, the conditions of validity can be set to whatever they want. Didn't take the latest experimental mRNA vaccine? Digital ID invalid. Posted misinformation on social media? Digital ID invalid. Social credit score too low?
Right. And if they can do that, I wish I would have muted it when she said it. Lord willing, they don't strike this video. All right. But, if they can do that with a VA to the X, all right, how much more can they do that when this RFID micro C-hip is totally pushed upon the American people, all right, and the people across the globe, man? How much more? Right? No, I'm gonna let it keep going. If I muted or something, I gotta watch what she's saying now, which is
Digital
ridiculous in
ID
itself.
invalid. Exceeded your carbon allowance this month? Digital.
Oh, and I seen that this place I went to grab. I think it was either I was going in there to grab something or I was grabbing some food. I can't remember. I wanted to take a picture of it, and it slipped my mind. All right, but this actual place I went to down here, all right, in New Orleans. It had a sign on the door, okay, that said that they were trying to reduce their carbon footprint. All right, and to show you that these things are not fiction. All right, these things are true, man. All right, it's not tall tales. These are what these people are really doing. All right, and you had that devil cotton swab, all right, that came out and said, that China is the model, all right, for the world that we want to create, man.
ID invalid. Voice criticism of your new technocratic overlords. Digital ID invalid. If we allow our governments to succeed in rolling out digital ID, we will end up living in a giant open-air digital prison from which it will be virtually impossible to ever escape. So I've told you guys that we are.
And this is the plans, all right? This are the schemes, all right, of the so-called elite. You see? A digital prison, man, all right? Well, we know what you've eaten. We know, Salak, we know what you've ate, all right? We know what you drink. We know who you talk to, all right? We've known how many times you had sex, all right? We know how many footsteps you took today. You see? All the way down to the T, man. All right? This is what's getting ready. This is the era, okay, that is intensifying. All right? This is the age that's coming. And it's here.
In the end times. This is it.
Play it back a little bit. And everybody just, we're in the end times, right? But no credit to the prophets, all right? The apostles. The elder bishops, the elder brothers that's been pushing this truth and been saying these things for years. You see? And now Jake, want to say, we're in the end times. Well, the Lord said in Ezekiel, is it 12 or 21? That he would make these proverbs to cease, man.
Our governments to succeed in rolling out digital ID, we will end up living in a giant open.
And people like this always say, we can't allow the government to do this to us. Well, who's going to stop them? You see? Who's going to stop them from doing this? All right? They will do and succeed all right, with bringing this M.O.T.B, all right, upon you people, man. All right. Are you ready to say no, though? Is that the question? Is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai going to keep you from saying no? Okay, when you haven't eaten, I keep saying eaten, when you haven't eaten in a week, all right? When you've been as a pilgrim in the earth, right, for the last 3 months, you see? What are you going to do then? Are you still going to have the same attitude of rebelling against it? Because the Lord said his servant's going to eat. And we have faith in that, right? We have faith that the Lord is going to take care of us. Do you have the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, on your side?
Open air digital prison from which it will be virtually impossible to ever escape. So I've told you guys that we are in the end times. This is it. When you compare what I told you about what's going on in Jerusalem, building of the third temple, just the laws that are being put in place, these things that are secretly working behind.
See, and this is why, people don't know what the hell they're talking about, all right? Talking about the building of the third temple in Jerusalem, all right? The third temple is not a physical temple, man, all right? Spiritual. I'll tell you that in 1 Peter, man. We, all right? The Lord is building up the temple through us, man.
Behind the scenes, the 2.5 trillion spent in just a couple of months for these, for Project Stargate, the huge AI data spaces, data centers that are going up all over the country. 2.5 trillion, something none of us asked for. We don't need that kind of power for anything right now, unless there will be 100% surveillance on every single American. This is going to be worldwide. There's no place that you're going to be able to go to escape. Let me just say this clearly. Every country is rolling this out, from third world countries to the US, the UK, Canada, all of that. Okay? So there's nowhere to hide. I told you, you're not going to be able to, fight against the government. They're doing that in the UK right now, but they're still going ahead with it. You can protest, resist, but this is the way they want the future, and we know why. Food, travel, right. Internet, social media.
She made some good points at the end, all right? But this is where we at with it, man, all right? So this is yesterday, I believe, is the day the 13th, right? So this is an article from yesterday. It says Apple introduces digital ID in a new way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet, all right? And as you can see, this little picture, all right, it says digital ID passport verified, so you can use it. So I'll read it, all right? You can actually use it in the airport, as an actual ID, It says Apple today announced the launch of digital ID, a new way for users to create an ID in Apple Wallet using information for their U.S. passport and present it with the security and privacy of iPhone or Apple Watch. You see? So why does Apple need to create a digital ID? How many people in the United States have an Apple phone? Millions, man, if not a billion. However many people here in the United States, I believe 60% of them have an iPhone, all right? So now they're going to have, make it an easier transition, And after a while, I wouldn't be surprised that this would be a requirement to have an iPhone. You need to verify your iPhone with your digital ID. You see? These are the snares, all right, and the traps that this devil try to lay. You see, as it says in 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. We are not ignorant of these devices, man. All right? We know the era that we're in, all right? The digital age. You see? And they already have your bank information, all right? When for my health insurance through my job, everything is on my phone, man. All right? They don't print out the physical health cards, the medical cards or whatever that you need to show, like, say if you have an emergency or something. Jake know what I'm talking about. All right? They don't, whoever does my insurance, I think it's United. All right, whoever the job does my insurance through, everything is digital, man. All right, so they already have your health information and your bank information. Well, now all they need to do is verify your ID. They already have your biometrics. You see, this is how close we are, man. All right, and it's going to be so easy for them to take the digital ID and transfer it to an RFID micro chip, man. All right, that can happen overnight. All right, but it says at launch, digital ID acceptance will roll out first in beta at TSA checkpoints at more than 250 airports in the U.S. for in-person verification during domestic travel, with additional digital ID acceptance use cases to come in future. Digital ID gives more people a way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet, even if they do not have a real ID compliant driver's license or state ID. You see? And you need a real ID, all right, which is the ID with the star on it, all right, or you need to have the star on your license, all right, and you need that to travel in the airport, man. All right, you can't. It was mandated down here in Louisiana, I believe, this year, and you had everybody running to the damn DMV, all right, and I had to go there to do something for my license, all right, and they had 100 people in the DMV. You know, I'm like, the hell going on? Everybody in there running to get a real ID, you know, and ain't that many Jakes traveling, man, you know, but they just say, oh, it's the deadline to get it. So just think about how just copper tops out there that's just gonna go and run and get the M.O.T.B. because it's the deadline, all right? But it says, digital ID gives more people a way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet, even if they do not have a real ID compliant driver's license or state ID. Digital ID is not a replacement for a physical passport and cannot be used for international travel and border crossing in lieu of a U.S. passport, right? But you still need to use it to fly, all right? You still can use it to fly, all right? Not internationally, but domestically, you see? And it's just a beta phase, all right? Just a beta phase, but, you know, this thing is moving fast, man, all right? This thing is moving at warp speed, you know, as they like to say, all right? But, you know, Lord willing, I'll post the rest in the description box. I'm not going to read the whole thing, all right? And let me just get one more precept, and I'll get out of here, man. I'll get this Revelation 3, all right, just to prove, because to back up the point, like I said, she made a good point, you know, that this is going to happen into the whole world, all right? It's not going to happen just here in America, all right? Apple is global, all right? So they're telling you, oh, you can't use it internationally, all right? But they're rolling it out at more than 250 airports in just the U.S., and you don't think that it's not going to be readily available at airports across the globe, all right? Apple is global, man. You see? So it's Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. You see? And it's all the world, all right? It's not the word, shit. Damn, slipped my mind. All right? This is the word oikoumene, all right? It's not cosmos, all right? It's not aeon, it's oikoumene, all right? Which means the inhabited earth, the whole inhabited earth, the universe, all right? The world. So it's talking about every single being on the planet Earth. You'll have to be tried, all right, with the M.O.T.B. Okay? You will have to be tried, all right? Whether you want to get down with this system, hey, man, you're going to have to prove that, man. You see? So when you go to Revelation 13, okay, verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. All right. Now, I haven't went to this in a minute. I like to get this word cause, all right, or cause it, because that's saying, all right, 4160. All right, it says to make. All right, so that's not optional, man. Oh no, I'm not gonna get the M.O.T.B. Well, what are you gonna do when it's not an option, right? And that's what all of this digital stuff, all right, all of these, like she said, she mentioned all the technocrats, all right, all the investments into all of these, AI, CEOs and all these different things that Trump was doing. All right, what do you think that's for, right? It says to make, with the names, to produce, construct, right, to make a thing, to put one forth, to lead him out, to, and it's the point I like to get, all right, in the I definition. It says to make one do something, all right? So when it says, and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, it says, just read it and put the word make there. And make that as many would not worship the beast be killed. So he's going to force the sword, man, if you don't get down with the program, you see? So if you don't got the spirit and power, how about Shimei Al-Shai? Yeah, man, good luck to you. All right, may the Lord bless you, man. Verse 16, and he calls it, you see, that's the same word, cause again. And he maketh all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You see? So he's going to make, all right, people get this M.O.T.B, right? Whether it's through starvation, whether it's through, whether he literally force you to get it, all right? Whatever it may be, man. So I say, if you don't have the Lord, man, you just done, But that's pretty much the point, man, all right? So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, by Shimei Al-Shai, by Shem Kakodash. And double honors once again to the apostles and the others of Great Millstone. Talking the truth, well, and peace.